championship week of the Mandeville Kelly League, and the only two people who would agree to do this podcast, Michael, Caleb.
The champ is here. The champ is here.
I'm so glad you're referring to me that way. That's so kind of you.
Oh, I'm going for it. I want this third one bad.
I'm going for number 2, and I'm a little nervous. I'm projected to lose by 6 or 7. And I think I'm going to be making some roster moves that are super high boom, high bust moves.
Yeah. You know how I play my team. It's
steady.
The lineup set and it doesn't change.
It's steady and consistent with you. You have no reason to really change your lineup given the lineup that got you here.
Yeah, no.
I've had a lot of moving parts. I've had some injuries. Looking at you, Emmanuel Sanders. Looking at you, Jay Ajayi. I've had to scramble to get to this spot, and I'm grateful to be here. I called you earlier this week and told you that I didn't think I deserved the win against Quentin. I'll take it, obviously. It was a hell of a battle. I was way too whiny on the thread, so I apologize to everyone. I thought for sure Kamara was going to end me just like Tyreek Hill did about 2 months earlier, and I was fortunate. So I'll take the win any way I can get it, and here we are again, Caleb.
Yeah, I think this is I would say the same about Max, but I was never worried.
Yeah, you were.
Not again.
You were worried after
the moment I saw that Saints offense move, I was like, oh, this is going to be a bad game.
You were, okay, but on Sunday night, with Max projected to win by 2, you're telling me you weren't worried that Breeze and Lutz were going to combine for 26?
I think I said it's going to be close, but I think I can pull this out.
Okay.
I'll find the text messages. I'll screenshot this.
Please do. I eagerly await. I would also like to point out that I added Kenny Stills to my team, and you might be wondering why, and that's a fair question because I'm not going to start him. But I went back and did some research, and when I won my championship in 2014, Kenny Stills was on my bench, and damn it, Kenny Stills is going to be on my bench this weekend. It's that veteran leadership I'm hoping for, Caleb.
Yeah. It's you need the veteran leadership. As someone who once drafted
Donovan McNabb.
I drafted Jordy Nelson with a torn ACL.
True.
You
drafted McNabb after he was done.
I picked up Tom Brady when he had his torn ACL.
Oh, that's right. After Wade drafted him 3rd.
Yes.
So let's go back to those semifinal matchups. You're still telling me you were never worried about Max. You only won by 14. And Breeze got 6.
I was looking.
I would just like to say that Will Lutz has been averaging 9 a game. He put up 6, so that gets you an extra 3. That gets Max to 80. And Breeze has been averaging 20 points a game. So he should have, based on averages, beaten you.
Yeah, but you have to look at the recent trend for Breeze. Lutz has been 9 consistently over the season, but Breeze has been 15 or less past 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Past 3, he's been under 15. Dallas, Tampa Bay, Carolina.
He hadn't done so many touchdowns.
He had 1 touchdown against Tampa, 1 touchdown against
Dallas.
Against Dallas.
And a pick in each, right? Or picking 2 of them.
A pick and a fumble in the Tampa game. And
pick in Dallas.
And a pick in the Carolina game.
You have a pick in Dallas?
And a pick in Dallas. There you go.
Okay. Sorry,
he's thrown picks in 4 straight. Very Breeze-like.
After starting this season with only 1 interception for the first 11 games or something, or 8 games.
Yeah.
Okay. I look back at the text messages and basically I just said, I hate this game. Can't believe I have to root against the Saints. That's
way worse.
I was
way worse.
And then I think the next text message was something along the lines of the ideal outcome is Ingram and Kamara run for 300 yards and the Saints win. I don't think that happened. Saints did get the win, but they didn't run as well as I had thought they would.
That said, I'll throw myself under the bus here. I'll join you under the bus. All right, Caleb. It's tough to say. I was rooting for Christian McCaffrey on that touchdown pass, just a little bit, just enough.
So the play that I think I even told you about this. I definitely texted Quentin about this. I said the Goff fumble or trip to fumble to interception play.
Yep.
You had to have been losing your goddamn mind.
I was so pissed. I thought I was done enough.
So ugly. He's got to fall on that ball.
Well, and look, this was a situation in which, and Quentin and I can do this all day, right? Like Quentin can say, if I start Fitz, I win this game. I could have done the same thing with the quarterback position had I started Trubisky or Josh Allen. That game's not as close as it ends up being. If I start Damian Williams over Justin Jackson, I had that in on Thursday night, then switched Justin Jackson in at the last second. And then the other one I battled with was I don't think I was ever going to start Doug Baldwin, but Galladay I considered starting over Corey Davis, and that's an extra 13 points there. We can play the optimal lineup game all day long, but for whatever reason, I found myself just beyond pissed, and Goff just happened to be on the receiving end of it because he was playing like absolute shit.
Yeah, for me, it was tough because I thought my guys had a good games for the most part, especially Dalvin Cook. When I saw Dalvin Cook just going off, it was like legitimately, I was like, redemption for the 2 years in a row taking him, and he missed.
I would like to point out that I have since dropped Jared Goff and Corey Davis.
Cook has
out
missed
of pure spite.
Since I've had Cook for the past 2 years, I think he has missed 22 out of 31 possible games.
Yeah, you and your Dalvin Cook love affair is strong.
Because remember, last season he tore his ACL in Game 3.
That's true.
And this year he had a hammy issue.
Is he relatable after your bump injury?
It feels like we have a kinship.
That's what I thought.
So to see him go off for like 160 something, 2 touchdowns in the first game, it was like, all right, I got this going. Little did I know he would score a third of my points because Thielen might be dead. When Bill Belichick told him to go F himself, it might have just ruined all of the talent that he had.
What's this story?
Did you not see this? So whenever in the Vikings New England game, there was a play where I think the Vikings thought they had a first down, and it was close to challengeable. And one of the Patriots took a dive. I think it was one of the McCourties. Took a dive on the play and was like, oh, I'm injured, which obviously requires a little bit of time. Right. They have to come out. They hold out. It gave Belichick time to watch the screen and throw the pass. And Thielen was yelling because he was upset. He was like, why? Like, that's a BS injury. Like, that's not real. Right. And Bill Belichick said, like, go F yourself on the sidelines. And ever since then, Thielen's been garbage.
He doesn't know how to react.
No, he's done. When the man using white receivers as much as any other person tells you to go F yourself, you lose your confidence.
That's right. So, it's funny, Caleb. I look ahead to this matchup and I just go, Caleb's team has been so consistent all week. All season, really. And yet, you're third in points for. Mm-hmm. And I'm first. Mm-hmm. And yet I have confidence in my team, but the consistency is what scares me with you.
So here's how you end up in first. For the last 10 weeks of the season, maybe even longer, 12 weeks, 10 weeks, I put up over 100 points a game. Oh. But I capped out at 136. 133.
I had a couple 165.
Two 160s, and that's like the exact. I think that's the exact difference between our points for.
Yeah. A
But like,
very boom bust season for me. I mean, I start 4-0, then I lose 4 straight, and then I win 6 straight. I mean, just a bizarre year.
yeah,
And well, now 7 straight if you count the semifinal.
yeah. Whereas my team just sort of trucked right through, and that consistency really helped.
Yeah. So you've won 4 in a row. I've won 7 in a row. Who's at home? I'm 6-1 at home. You're 6-1 at home. Who's technically? You're technically the home team because you're
Yeah,
the one seed.
as the one seed, I think I'd do the home field.
Damn it!
And it's a big deal. The
It
the
is.
the hero slash Lord knows slash Obi-Wan Kenobi Josh slash I don't even remember what the rest of my name. I threw a few names out there this season.
Does Wade's name go on the trophy if you win this?
This is a direct message to Wade. We did it. We're going to get our championship, and you're going to get your name on there in really small print. It's a tiny little print.
Caleb Hogan.
Exactly.
Can you do this in size 4 font, please?
Yeah. How small can you make this?
How are your etching skills? How are your engraving skills? This is going to be a really good matchup. I know you're projected to win by 7, but we've got some injuries that could come into play here. And you and I were texting back and forth this morning. No Thursday night games, which is why we decided to do the podcast on a Thursday. But let's see. Juju left practice today. They think he's going to be fine, but who knows? McCaffrey gets a day of rest. There was some rumored talk that they were planning on shutting McCaffrey down. I don't think that happens. But you do have to wonder. He's 22 yards away from, I think, 1,000 rushing yards, which gets him a bonus. And then he's 6 receptions away from 100 for the year, which gets him another bonus. He could get that all in the first half, and then they could go, well, thanks for playing. You're done. Our season's over, and we're not going to risk you getting hurt.
The only thing Carolina's playing for is the distinction of not being the first team ever to start 6-2 and finish 6-10. So,
but I'm worried about McCaffrey. I'm worried that he only plays a half, despite the fact that they've said now that Newton's out for the year that they're going to give him 25 to 30 touches. That sounds good in theory. I love the idea of that. I just today felt weird to me. The fact that they decided to give him a rest day.
I guess my question is, where are those touches? Because has he been? And I have not followed his game thus far as much as you probably have. Has he been as effective on the ground as he has been through the air?
Yeah, pretty much.
Touches. I think that screams he should be running the ball a lot.
So his highest run total was week 3, 28 carries, 184 yards against Cincy.
Let's add Cincy. The worst run defense in the league.
True. It's been a mix between about 10 and 17 carries from week 8 on.
Okay.
And then probably another 5 or 6 step-offs.
Just hearing that number means that he's running the ball more.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think he'll probably get over 20 and then 10 targets, I would guess.
Yeah.
I mean, the number of targets he had from Cam was staggering on Monday.
Yeah. Depends on if Kessler can get the ball to him. Is it Kessler? No. Heineke.
Yeah. Who had a really interesting story. Lost his dad his freshman year, the day before he went home for winter break. And his dad, he had a great press conference today talking about the impact that his dad had on his life. So, not that I'm saying to root for the Carolina Panthers, given that, this is a New Orleans league, but I'll root for the guy when he's not playing the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
And when I know the Panthers are out of the race, absolutely. Speaking of Cincy and their porous run D, guess who gets them this week?
Oh, I'm like the Chester cat right now when you say that. Oh, it's so good.
I'm so terrified. Here's the thing. The matchups could not be better for both of us for the most part. Outside of Kenny Golladay getting Minnesota, both of us, and we were talking about this weeks ago, that both of us felt like if we could get to the championship game that we could do some damage. Now we just have to do damage against each other.
Yeah, so Chubb gets another go-around at Cincinnati, and the last time he played them, he scored 26 points, 27 points, something like that.
26.
And
Second highest output of the season.
Yeah, the 34, I think, immediately after that. And Philip Lindsay gets to go against the 30th ranked Oakland rush defense. Now, he's looked bad recently. Less than 2 yards a carry for the past 2 games on almost 30 carries, 20, 24, 25 maybe. And that's not good. But if there's anyone he can sort of exploit, it's Oakland.
And yet, Caleb, as we look at your lineup and look at this matchup, 120.3 to 112.7 in the projected. I'm sure I could make another 7 roster changes before Sunday hits, and so don't hold me to that number. Doug Baldwin could easily go out, and Robbie Anderson could come in. That's a possibility. I don't know where I'll land, but for your team, Julio Jones could very well sit this game against Carolina. We talked about McCaffrey not having much to play for and Carolina not having much to play for. Atlanta doesn't have anything to play for.
No, and that terrifies me. And I didn't even realize this because my sister got married last weekend and I was all over the place. But Julio Jones didn't play in the second half of last game.
Wow.
And I don't like that.
Nope.
At all.
And you don't have a stable of wide receivers at your disposal on your bench. You went and signed Deshaun Hamilton to your roster this morning.
Yeah, fingers crossed that that Deshaun Hamilton can get himself better.
Deshaun Hamilton can get himself better?
Yeah, get himself ready to play, pardon me.
Okay. I was going to say, is that who you go with if Julio can't go?
Probably. Scandling Valdez, the Exxon Valdez or whatever his name is garbage. I wish I could throw Gus Edwards in there.
I'm surprised you haven't dropped Sammy Watkins yet.
Man, I didn't want to drop him because he's had like randomly good games this season.
Yeah.
And I thought if he might get healthy, you never like that offense is so explosive. Like you have all these sort of random people scoring on that team. And I thought if he gets healthy, there's a chance he could pull that out.
Yeah.
Pull something out. And so I kept him for the boom bust potential, but he has not been healthy.
In the event of a tie, this is something that the two of us worked out. We had been going by bench points, I think, and we figured out that optimal lineup is better. We will get that figured out and get it in writing. Your co-owner Wade, I'm sure, can as his other job is league historian, can help us get that set up. But I think optimal lineup's the way to go for tiebreakers in the playoffs moving forward. That was a suggestion you made. I think a good one of that.
Yeah, because bench points is easy to game. You just sort of.
Yeah, I'd like 7 quarterbacks on my roster, please. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, well, Mike wins because 7 quarterbacks scored 140 points.
Well, hold up. I dropped Jared Goff and Jameis Winston, so I'm down to just as many quarterbacks as you have now.
Yeah, you were carrying 4 for a while.
I was. It felt good. I just kept making the wrong decisions. For as well as I selected quarterbacks in the first 4 weeks of the year, I've been horrendous. I mean, we keep talking about games that I shouldn't have won. I need to be right on Trubisky this week. I absolutely must be right on Trubisky to have a chance against you.
All right, I want to talk about a rostering thing that frustrated me all season.
Yeah.
Because it didn't affect me. I had 1 week where I needed to sit a tight end because Kelsey is a literal must start. Okay. But for his bye, I was trying to prepare for that literally in weeks in advance, and everybody was rostering tight ends.
Staggering.
people had 3 tight ends on their roster at a time.
Yep.
And we're starting one.
Yep.
And I was like, someone's got to drop one of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, Brad had Jimmy Graham,
Ertz,
and one more, I think, at one point. Oh, he had O.J. Howard. And I'm like, what are you doing with Howard? It's like, I don't know. I'll start him in a couple weeks.
It was just so frustrating because every single week I kept waiting for someone to let one of them go. And I think your brother or someone dropped Herndon, and I picked him up instantly. It was a 1-week stopgap. But I just it kept boggling my mind that none of these tight ends were good and everybody was holding on to them.
You should do that again this week. Drop Kelsey for Herndon.
I'll think about it.
Okay. I'm just trying to help. I know how much you want this.
Yeah. He might get the start if Julio can't go.
You're not starting 2 tight ends.
Never know, dude.
All right, let's spend 2 minutes on that. This notion that you should automatically put 2 tight ends in your lineup, I'm sorry, but unless you have Zach Ertz and Travis Kelce, you should be putting a wide receiver or a running back in that flex spot. That position's been way too inconsistent, especially this season, to go, you know what, I'm going to bank on the number 6 tight end.
I'm going to pause for a second. You have left out someone in that upper tier of tight ends. I think you know who I'm talking about, Mr. Elite himself.
You know what? You're right.
Unless you have
Mr. Elite, if Logan had drafted Zach Ertz and then added Eric Ebron and went with both, by all means. That said, last week I thought Quentin actually made the right roster move going with Cook and Gronkowski. I would have benched Fitzgerald too, and because I called you and I was like, please don't tell Quentin to start 2 tight ends.
Quentin, confirm that I did not tell you that.
You have confirmed this is true. But I thought that was the one exception to the rule. I thought that was the right roster move. And you know, I was wrong as well. So
I listen to football podcasts in reverse. Like the weeks happen and I go listen to the preview stuff.
Okay.
The one thing that stuck out,
I actually listen to it in reverse. It doesn't sound like
the order. It's out of order. Like the week preview, I listen to after the week. So
if you listen to it on rewind, it's not Dark Side of the Moon.
No, you hear nothing. Just a lot of gibberish. Okay. And one of the reasons I think Quentin lost is Gronk had a bad game, and Gronk's last couple games against Pittsburgh were all insane. All above 5 catches, 90+ yards, and a touchdown or more in each one. And then he just couldn't get it going this week. And I think he might be done.
You think Gronk's done?
I think so. I mean, he looks bad out there.
Is the WWE next? Is this going to be a Ronda Rousey?
Oh, heck yeah. And he'd be so good.
Right?
He'd be so good.
Not that you don't already watch the WWE.
He'd be awesome.
But how many events do you think you'd go to if you knew that Gronk was going to be
at least 2
a year?
If they were close to me, yes. Would I travel? Maybe.
You're telling me Gronk is there. Just an impossibility. Caleb, I could ask you your prediction, but it's a waste of time.
Yeah, if you go look at let me just double check that this is still the case. If you look at the league poll, I think there are 2 votes.
That is correct.
And it's Michael and I voting for ourselves.
Yeah, Caleb, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say there are going to be 2 views on this video, and it's going to be you and me.
Exactly.
I think we're making this video for ourselves because who the hell is going to come check? Nobody cares about our matchup. Nobody cares about us talking our teams up.
Yeah. Well, Michael, if you look at the in matchup poll, that actually has me predicted to win.
The in matchup poll.
Yeah. So if you go to preview,
yes,
there's the poll at the bottom. Who will win this matchup? I'm actually favored there. So
hold up. Oh, preview. Well, we already knew that, though.
No, if you go to the bottom, there's a poll near the smack board.
Who will win this matchup?
Yeah, looks like someone voted for me.
Oh, that's interesting. You might want to refresh.
Wonder who that was.
My brother.
Tied now.
My brother and Logan are watching this live.
This is really stupid, but one of my superstitions is every week I go vote on myself in that matchup poll in the preview.
How long have you been doing this? Just this season?
Years.
No.
Every single matchup.
No way.
No one ever votes. 0 people vote. I vote every single time. It always says 1-0, and I say, "Oh yeah, that's right."
This is fantastic. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I bet most people don't even know that exists.
So right now I'm projected to win the kicker battle. So there's that.
Yeah, that's exciting. I was actually going to come on here with the strategy of telling you that we should do kickers only.
Well, and it would be in the same game too.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting. But then I realized that I would like to win, and Tucker is just a better quarterback, or excuse me, kicker.
He's a better quarterback too.
Probably. And so I would like to let the rest of my other players try and do work as well.
I'll do Zeke and McCaffrey against Chubb and Philip Lindsay.
Good one. You take the one place you have a distinct advantage, and then just leave my wide receivers out of it.
I thought you loved Nick Chubb.
I do.
And I thought you're worried, and you just said that you're worried about Julio missing, and now Thielen has all these head issues because of Belichick. To me, it's the perfect escape for you.
Yeah. So I think to talk to our real matchup, I think the key matchup, as it has been for a lot of this season, is Kelsey versus your tight end. Because like Kelsey has been such a differentiator for me, and like 90% of the time this season, he has beaten his man across the line from him.
Yeah.
And sometimes big.
Yeah, I mean, if you take week 1 away, his lowest score was 7.6.
Yeah.
Which for me would probably be my second highest output from a tight end this year.
Yeah, Kelsey's been really, really good. It's 10 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards, I think.
Yeah.
And so I think that'll be key.
And how Seattle against 14th against tight ends, but they just gave up interesting. They didn't give up a ton to Kittle. They gave up a ton to Kelsey.
Wait, repeat that.
Last week, Seattle gave up a ton.
You said Kelsey.
Not Kelsey. Selleck. Sorry.
Yeah. Is that guy actually related to Brent?
I think so. Garrett. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's his name.
Garrett Selleck. Brent. Are they brothers? He is the brother of former Philadelphia Eagles tight end Brent Selleck.
Okay, good for them. Family of tight ends. The new Gronkowski.
But that to say, Kittle didn't have a big day. Kittle was held in check.
So the positive, that's the negative, that a stud tight end didn't get a good day. The positive is there is no other tight end on Kansas City, so it's not like. Either the volume's there and he has a bad day, but it's not going to go to another tight end.
Here's what I'm hopeful of. Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes combined for their worst fantasy output of the entire season last week. The hope is that they remedy that this week, and it is just Mahomes to Hill all day long, and Kelsey somehow gets left out of the mix. I think you're right, though. It's a 10-point swing for you just on tight end alone.
Yeah, and it's been that way all season. I got very, very lucky to pick him up where I did in the third.
And if you look at teams I'd be interested to look at teams that have won over the last 5 years, because when I won in 2014, 4 years ago, I had the number 1 tight end in Gronk, and so. It's such a crapshoot, but not if you have Kelsey this year. But I thought Gronk was going to have a good year this year. and that didn't happen.
He looked bad.
Yeah, I guess in hindsight, we should have said that once he threatened to trade or threatened to retire if they traded him, that something was up. But who was Brad's tight end?
Evan Ingram, who was the number 5 tight end. Wade had Jimmy Graham, who was number 4 tight end in 16. In 15, Wade was starting Will Tye, who was the number 28 tight end. How did Wade win in 15? His team.
He had a weird team.
Yeah, but it worked. Doesn't matter. It worked. And then you had Gronk in 14.
Yeah.
But he's number 1.
It says something that you've got to have a consistent tight end, and that's something that I've liked all season long. I thought Reed would be good. He wasn't. I thought, I don't know. I thought I'd have some guys that worked out. It just didn't happen. We talk about optimal lineups, Caleb. How much is Max kicking himself for benching Alshon Jeffrey in favor of AP? It wouldn't have made a difference, thankfully, for Max, but Trey Burton was on his bench. Jeffrey was on his bench. And a couple different moves, and he beats you.
I think that's the case. Like, I think Max did the best you can. Like, I've always been, my entire management philosophy is you start your studs, and Alshon Jeffrey had not played like a stud. Just hadn't.
Yeah.
And
well, except he scored 14 the week before against Dallas.
Correct. Look at what are the weeks before that? 5.
Not as good.
Yeah.
5 straight weeks under 7.
So it's like one of those things where at the very least you've seen AP have games where he can pop to the upside.
Yeah.
And you hadn't seen that from Alshon in a minute.
That's true.
So.
And to defend Max, even if he starts Jeffrey over AP, he loses by 2.
Yeah.
He would have needed to start Trey Burton as well.
It was a weird week. After such a high-scoring season, I did the math.
Yeah.
The highest season in Kelly League history was last season. Before this season was last season. It was 1470 in points. 1460. Because Brad beat me on points last year by like 5 points. So they're really close.
And this season, 1632 for me.
Average is higher than that score.
It's crazy.
So
that's
the average was something like 1490 for the league.
That's
and so the point being, that's like 105 points a game approximately, and no one scored over 100 last week. People got shut down. Studs didn't show up.
It was a weird week.
Yeah.
It was a weird week. I mean, I think I saw one lineup in which it was like Aaron Jones, Keenan Allen, Mahomes, and Tyreek Hill all in the same lineup, and they lost. And I think Thielen was in there too. And you're going, this is a stacked team, absolutely stacked team. And you put that team in the regular season, they probably go 14-0 or 13-1, something like that. Yeah. But yet they're out first week of the playoffs.
Exactly. And so it's a weird week. Hopefully we get back to some normalcy this week and Philip Lindsay gets above 6 yards a carry again. So I hope he gets back to his running ways.
Yeah.
But we shall see.
It'll be good.
I'm going to ask you for your official prediction, Michael.
You know what?
You have frozen.
We'll lose the championship.
All right. I'm not going to lie. I missed every single word you said. Because it froze. All I heard was lose the championship, and I don't know which side you picked.
Let me speak slower and enunciate and hope that the internet connection is so good.
Yeah, that's the key. Is the internet connection going to work?
I think Caleb will lose the championship.
Here's my prediction. Blowout. I score 150 this week.
Please. You haven't scored over 130.
Just wait, dude. Chubb's going for 30. Lindsey's going for 25. Dalvin and Thielen combined for 35. Don't know how it's going to be split, but it's going to happen. Julio has one 75-yard touchdown, and then they sit him down.
I should mention that it is 12:30 Caleb's time. We are past midnight on the East Coast, so Caleb's a little delirious at this point.
Kelsey gets 2 touchdowns. I was going to say 3.
You almost said 3.
I did. I had my finger ready to pull up.
Jesus.
Big Ben, 200 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns.
2 rushing touchdowns against the Saints. Who is he? Dante Culpepper?
Yes, he is Dante Stolpepper.
Thanks.
He's the new Josh Allen
Culpepper reference.
I actually think I only beat Steven earlier this season because of a Big Ben rushing touchdown.
Wow.
It took it away from Connors to the 1-yard line. So we'll see that again. Badgley will score 4. He can have a bad week. That Baltimore.
Here's my prediction. We both score over our allotted amount. Or projected amount.
Would that be fun? It's fun when your guys when everybody's like starts going off.
Yeah, I think we will both have good weeks.
The grinded out weeks like last week can really stink.
I think my hope is that Julio sits, or better yet, Julio plays and is limited. That they play him for a quarter and then you know what, we don't. He gave it a run. That's
the worst case scenario for me. Is that he gets put on a pitch count and plays like the first series or 2.
Yeah, but the same could happen with McCaffrey. So it's going to be an interesting week. You know, there's a reason that we do the championship in week 16, but it does beg the question when you have teams that are already shutting guys down. You know, do you move the championship to week 15 and do a 13-week regular season and then a 2-week playoff? I don't know. You would have loved it for this season alone because you would have won the league already.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Instead, it's all for naught.
Yeah, I would have been 11-2 with the ship.
Yep. Instead, you have to watch me hold the trophy come next Sunday. Come Monday. Yeah, this Monday night, me sitting and waiting for Philip Lindsay is going to be agonizing.
Well, I'm flying during the Sunday night football game, so
that doesn't matter as much. The Monday night's the one that matters more.
I have Kelsey in the Sunday nighter.
Okay.
So like basically, you're going to be done already. I'll have Kelsey in Sunday night, Lindsay on Monday night.
Well, right now I've got Doug Baldwin in there.
Oh, that's right. So you have him too. So it doesn't matter. I mean, that'll help. I forgot about Doug.
I'll never forget about Doug. But I might go Robbie Anderson. Who knows?
Yeah. So either way, it's going to be a tough end of the season for one of us.
Yep.
I think Max mentioned it. You mentioned it as well. I have talked a lot of smack this season.
Who has talked more smack? You this season or Brad last season?
I was also talking that talk last season.
Okay. Who has talked more smack? You this season or Brad preseason, off season?
Probably me.
Brad was taking pictures with like.
So, but here's the thing: Brad was
and the trophy.
Brad was just like, "I won, isn't it great?" Whereas I was like going after individual people.
That's true. Yours was a little more targeted. Brad's was a little more. Yours was more harassing. Brad's was just showmanship.
Yeah, I was like,
hint of like.
I felt like I needed to win the psychological edge this season.
Yeah,
and so I threw everything in the playbook. I mean, I think at one point this season, I spammed Quentin's text messages with that score that I doubled him up. Sent him like 6 of those in a row.
And I'm surprised he still talks to you.
I'm just kidding. I did not actually do that. He would be very mad if I did that. But it didn't even matter because Quinn's beat me twice this season, so
Yeah.
I did not actually do that.
If not, but had you beaten Quentin, I think he would have ghosted you for a good month. And
it happens. It happens. We just love to just butt heads.
Needle a little bit.
Yeah, it's just a little poke here, a little poke there. We're fairly even matched. I looked at their records. I think since 2006, he has a slight lead.
Okay.
Or I have a slight lead, one of the two. It basically, it's like within a game. We're almost at 500. So
would you like to respond to being left off of Max's #1 most hated or biggest rival? I guess you could put it.
Yeah. So I think. I think the only proper way to respond to that is with a GG quote. Would you rather be overpaid or underrated? And overpaid. So Max can underrate me. It's fine. I'd rather get that money in winning the championship.
You've gotten 125 of it so far, and could get it with 375 if you pull this off.
But I think Max's logic made sense. Like he really does. Like I remember very specifically him getting upset with Quentin for making picks right before him, and Quentin like squealing with glee when Max
enjoyed it so much.
When Max would go and accidentally speak out a turn, and then Quentin would just take that player ahead of him. I mean, it was just so fun. Quentin it was so happy. Such a joy for him to just go and steal that player.
By the way, he might be the most consistent team in the last 4 years.
Quentin?
Yeah.
Made the playoffs all 4 years. So
hasn't won it yet. Or hasn't won it in those 4 years, right? Mm-hmm. But just knows how to put a team together.
I was hoping that Quentin could pull it out last year because in the history thus far, he's won the championship, and then the next year I've won the championship on a 6-year cycle. He won 05, I won 06. He won 11, I won 12. I was hoping he'd win 17, I'd win 18. He didn't take care of his part. He tried. I hope that doesn't bode poorly for me, and that we're still in sync. And I hope that I may lose if the cycle continues.
By the way, the streak continues. The cycle not a cycle, but the streak continues of Steven and me never making the playoffs in the same year.
Interesting.
And I would have told you 6 weeks ago that was going to change this year. Okay. And then Steven bottomed out. And now Gurley's probably not going to play on Sunday.
Is Steven still watching this live?
Steven is back in the States now, so he might be watching this live. He was not actually watching it.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said he was. I was like,
But he is back in the States, so feel free.
Because I was going to speak directly to him and say, Steven, I'm sorry that I sent your team into a tailspin.
Man, did you ever?
You were 7-1.
You Bill Belichicked him, man.
You were riding high.
You Bill Belichicked him. He was Adam Thielen, and you said F off.
I was felt good. I barely beat you. And then I sent the Eric Killmonger, "Is this your king?" Meme, and
he never recovered.
No. I mean, that's an apt comparison. Now, are you going to be is Killmonger going to win in this scenario? Okay, am I going to win? Or are you going to be T'Challa and try and take me down?
Wakanda forever, baby.
Yeah.
Wakanda forever, baby. All day. I don't know if white guys are allowed to do that, but
probably not. But I think you can do it, but it's more like it's not your thing.
Yeah.
Like don't turn it into your handshake. I think it's the idea.
Fair enough. Caleb predicts himself to win. I predict me to win. Do you expect anything else? If you're still watching at this point, I could have told you this at the beginning of the pod.
Slight tweaking of your language. I project a blowout in my favor. Just remember, 150.
What do you think I score? Do you think I get over 100?
I mean, yeah, you gotta be fine. He's not 150.
You're not putting up 150. That's not going to happen. Not going to do it.
Yeah, it's an average of 20 points a player to get 150. You need someone to get 40 to get there.
So what's your high this season? 133.5?
I think so. I had 136, I thought.
133.5 was your high.
I don't believe that.
What?
I don't believe that.
It's true.
I'm going to confirm.
Week 14 against Logan. Oh, that was when I thought Logan was going to take you down, when I tried to call that upset. That was so close. 133.5.
Okay, so 17 points above
Projecting,
that.
yeah, an extra 7. Okay, enjoy that.
Yeah, let me see what got me there. How did I get there?
Hey,
Oh, that's
Caleb,
actually.
what should I drink from the trophy when I win it? Although I think Brad's cats have been in the trophy, so given that I'm allergic to them, I don't know if I should. I should probably have it steam cleaned.
You're going to bleach that ahead of time, you know?
Just steam clean that. All right, Caleb, we're going to stop this podcast, given that, again, we're going to get 2 views, and it's going to be the 2 of us. So thanks for the prediction. I have to say I saw it coming.
Yeah, I'm an easy read.
Yeah. But and I tell you good luck this week, but F off.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I've told Quentin. Michael, I wish you success in literally every endeavor you have in your life except for fantasy football. That's it. I hope you are the most successful person I have ever met, except for this week. In
Baby
fantasy
fought.
football.
Baby fought, baby. He's coming. He is coming. Get ready. I'll send you a Christian McCaffrey jersey when I win.
I have a fireplace here. I'll burn it.
Fair enough. All right, Caleb. I'll talk to you later. See you, man.